Welcome, welcome everyone. It's Tammy Lynn McGinnis from Illumination Network and the Aurora Network. And we're welcoming everyone today who's joining us for a timeline, past, present, and future. We're going to do some traveling together. And my travel host is Kathy Kennedy. Hi,
Hi,
Kathy.
everyone. Hi. So great to be here. We're going to have a great program today. So all you journeyers, so we're going to have fun. So Tammy, you had some information you wanted to share with everybody about what we're going to be doing.
Well, Kathy and I do a lot of channeling together, and where two or more gather, it gets really interesting. And the insights that we've gathered is that, we have multiple existences and we're sparks of consciousness, and we can place that consciousness in different locations for different experiences. Is that how you've been receiving it as well, Kathy?
Yeah, it
That we're
is. And my
just
guides, yeah, they came through and said that, we we do have multiple lives going on at the same time. And each spark has its own consciousness, but it's all part of us. And so we get to experience a lot of different things at the same time. So it's important
and
to
that's
understand. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and that spark is made up by the true source existence. Our larger source existence is what we've received, right? And then we project our spark, little spark of consciousness, into a form or into formlessness, inside or outside of time, to have that experience.
Now, if that resonates with you, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, just throw it away. That's just something that we channeled that would help us put this program together today. And however you experience is going to be the right thing for you. So the only reason we brought it up, because there might be a few little instances throughout the journey of going into the past and going into the future, that might help bring a little clarity, but you may experience it different than we did. So whatever comes up for you is going to be the right thing. So make sure that you have have paper and pencil or pen or whatever you would like to put down your information on, because you get to write all this down, and hopefully it'll give you some wonderful insight into who you are.
Yeah. And rarely in these experiences do we have any rules. But to make this for you to receive the most from this experience, then we want to encourage you to just trust your journey. Trust whatever it is that you experience is right for you. Utilize your imagination. Use everything to your best advantage. Trust your senses. Trust everything that comes to you. As you perceive it, you receive it. And just allow it to be and observe. And trust your emotions. Trust that which you are observing and you're experiencing. You just make note of that. So just allow this to be your own unique timeline travel.
Now we're going to be taking you guys back to a time in Lemuria and Atlantis. So it's going to go back quite a ways, and you'll get an opportunity to observe that. And when we bring you back to the present time, before we take you into the future, you're going to have an opportunity to acknowledge any lifetimes or life forms that you've had during that time from there forward. So just keep that in mind, that's going to happen. And when we take you forward, we're going to take you through 100 years, then a couple hundred years forward, so that you can also observe what's going on. And when you're there in these places, you may or may not be in body form. So if you're an observer, that's okay. Just observe it as if you were in spirit. And if you're in body form, then you can experience it as you were in body form when you're actually in Lemuria, in Atlantis, and or when you go to 100 years forward and 200 years forward. And then, of course, you'll get an opportunity to observe any lives that you've had. We're not going to stop at any of those lives and explore them, but you'll have an opportunity to just acknowledge them as we move through space and time. So before we get started, is there any questions that anybody has? No? Are you guys ready?
You excited?
Okay. Okay, so everybody, just close your eyes. Yeah, take a nice deep breath. Get very, very comfortable. where you are, in your chair, where your couch, wherever you are, just get nice and comfy. And allow your breath now to just come in. That's right. Filling you. That's right. Bringing in all good energy. Releasing energy that's maybe stressful, you don't want, let it go. That's right. And allowing this breath now to move through you, moving through your body, relaxing every muscle, relaxing every nerve. That's right. That's good. As you continue to breathe. That's good. And allowing yourself now to go into the center of yourself, into the center of you, of your all-knowing, the part of you that is wise, wise beyond wise, the part of you that knows you and always tells you your truth. That's right, all the way in. Allowing this knowledge to fill you, bringing love and joy. That's right. All the way through you, relaxing, releasing, allowing your truth to be your guide. As we begin the journey. And you notice that as you begin the journey, you'll hear my voice, you'll hear Tammy's voice. And we'll just be guiding, allowing you to experience whatever you need to experience. That's right. That's good.
And now travel all the way back to the times known as Lemuria and Atlantis. And bring yourself to be there present fully now. One by one, allow your experience to enter each of your senses. Notice any smells, tastes, sounds, bodily sensations, sights, and extrasensory sensations. Notice and observe. Notice your surroundings. Are you in a body or an observer out of form?
Take a deep breath.
What are the surroundings like at this time? Just observing, not judging. That's right, that's good.
If you're in body, notice now how your body's wrapped. And if you're an observer in just spirit form, again, notice, what is it like? How are the people there? How do they dress?
And if you're in body, what is that like for you? Continuing all the while to observe your surroundings.
Are there buildings?
What is happening? Make note of what you're experiencing.
Notice, how do people live in this time? What are the things they do? If you're in body form, what do you do?
If you're observing, what are you observing now? Go ahead and take note of that. And what is that experience of being an observer like for you? Do you play a role in anyone else's life as an observer? Just observe.
And observe the land that you're in. Are you in Lemuria? Are you in Atlantis?
Are you experiencing both? Simply notice. Do you recognize anyone in this experience? And if so, just notice that. That's right. That's good. Just noticing. Now, in a moment, we're going to begin. Begin now to travel forward to your present time.
So
And as
just take note of all that you've experienced. That's right. Knowing that this time is always present for you, always available. Always knowing you can come back anytime you choose. As you take a deep breath. You allow yourself now to start moving forward. And as you move forward to present time of 2020, take notice of any life, forms, or times, whether they're on this earth or someplace else. Allow yourself to just gently and easily bring yourself forward and acknowledging all those lifetimes. That's right. Easily and gently bringing yourself forward.
just observe, no stopping, no judging. Simply allow it to be your experience. Just simply observing your time travel back to the here and now, present in this lifetime embodiment. And here now in your current 2020, take a moment. Take a moment to simply be, to acclimate all you have learned to the moment of your consciousness.
And notice, was there any influence on your life today from that time in Atlantis or Lemuria? Or any of the lifetimes you observed on your way back? Do they influence you today in some specific way? Just make note of that if it does.
Take note of how many lifetimes have you had. Just acknowledge them. There may be other places you incarnated, not necessarily on this planet. Just observe.
And as you bring yourself back into current time as you know it in 2020, notice now the many sparks of yourself. And notice, are there any other sparks out there that exist that are part of you?
Those sparks of you could be on other planets, other dimensions or realms. Just make note of that. Acclimating, integrating, and assimilating all that you've experienced, all that you've learned in consciousness.
Now, in a moment, we're going to move forward. So take a deep breath, knowing that all that you've learned is safely tucked away within you, within your truth center. That's right. So take another deep breath. And allow yourself now to move forward through space and time. Moving forward to 100 years from now. That's right. Moving forward through space and time. Just allow yourself to be 100 years in the future. Notice your surroundings. Are you in body? Are you an observer?
If you're in body, notice what it is like for you.
How's your body wrapped? Are there buildings? What are they like? Do you recognize any people around you? And if you're an observer, notice, what is this life like? And the people live 100 years in the future. So take note of all that you've observed. Take a deep breath. And prepare to journey again. As you journey forward through space and time for another 100 years, bringing you to 200 years in the future. Again, noticing as you arrive, are you in body? Are you an observer?
What it is like for you. Just observe what is happening.
Is it different from 100 years ago? Is it different from current time?
If so, how so? Just take note of that.
And if you're in body, notice, what do you do for a living? What are your clothes like, if you have clothes?
And if you're observer, what are people doing? And what are you doing here observing?
Notice, are there any people there that are from your current time? So just take it all in. That's right. Making note of it. And in a moment, we'll travel back.
To your present time, observing once again as you travel back any other lifetimes that you're experiencing.
Just observe them. Let them into your consciousness. Traveling back through space and time. Slowly and gently. With all the knowledge that you've tucked away so perfectly inside yourself. Bringing you back. That's right. Noticing all that you've done from that time in the future. As we know the future to be, timeline. Bring yourself back to the present time. With all the knowledge from your past, all the knowledge from the future, all the knowledge of all the lifetimes and life forms that you observed as you traveled through space and time. Bringing all that knowledge forward for yourself, for your own knowing. That's right. Bringing yourself back to your present time, your current state of life. That's right. And just gently and easily, when you're ready, you open your eyes and take a moment to write your story of your past, your present, and your future.
With every breath you take, just notice how easy it is to recall your experiences, to recall all that you observed.
When you're done writing, just raise your hand so we know. Okay, Randy's done. So
Bonnie?
Bonnie's done. Okay.
Yeah.
Randy, I went ahead and unmuted you. Is there anything you'd like to share of what your experience was like and what you found out?
Yeah. I've in past lives I've never been a man much, and this time I was like a warrior, and I didn't get much, but what I got seemed like enough. So I was outside of the city, and I'm not sure, what I was a warrior for, but I had like this metal skirting, and the city was like colors and light, and it looked magical, but I was in nature. And then when you brought us to the present, but then when with the future, so I'd been there before with Shelley, that like around 2120, and there were like a lot of barren lands, but people in small homes still. And then in 2220 was darkness, and but that today that we are the bridge between the past and the energy of the mistakes, and that we can have a new path, a new road into our future where we balance our connection with the earth. And so I am the bridge, so that all the paths of today can lead to that, the beauty and the balance and nurturing of earth. Even though it feels like right now we're in these weird paths, they all can lead to the beauty and balance.
Wow, that's beautiful. Did you notice any lives on your way back from either the past or the future that you observed, that you spent time at besides on Earth?
No, I didn't go to any of those. I was
okay.
So wanting to do something to make sure We're okay down there.
I like that. So you saw quite a significant improvement since having done that travel before, in terms of
Yeah.
what the terrain looked like. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's very encouraging.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm.
So Bonnie, you had your hand up. I'm gonna unmute you. I'll let you unmute yourself, I think. There we go.
So I kept having different kinds of images come to me, and I kept going, this feels kind of like Egypt, but then I'm going, but maybe Egypt kind of feels like that too. So in Lemuria, it was more like I was at water. The water was very blue, and there was a lot of construction or buildings or something being built in back of me. And then at some point, it felt like I was above the land, and I'm looking down and I'm feeling, it's not really sad, but kind of melancholy or something, because I know the land's going to be destroyed. And then when we went to Atlantis, I thought this was the funniest one, because just like Randy, I don't remember a lot of male lifetimes, but I was a very angry man. And I was in white, and I don't remember what we were arguing, but there was a bunch of us, and we were all fighting, and it was like, whoa, this is strange.
Wow.
And then coming forward, it felt like I was traveling in a tube of light with branches, and the branches coming out were more like different lifetimes. So I didn't really experience them, but it was just kind of like coming forward. And in a future year, in 100 years, it was like it was more deserty. All I could relate it to is like Pueblo buildings. There was more red, more orange. And I wasn't sure if I was in body or if I was actually channeling to somebody. And then when we went forward 100 years, I had this experience, and I think his name's Babaji. I think he's like one of the early lineage in the Yogananda tradition. I've never really experienced anything with him, but he was there and he took my hand, and then I noticed there was a long line of hands of people going in all directions, and then we just kind of moved into spirit, and I don't remember being a body or anything.
Wow.
And that's my journey. Thank you. That was fun.
Wow,
That's
that was really
wonderful,
awesome.
Bonnie.
So
I
That's
love
you and
the
Randy,
similarities. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's a lot
Yeah.
of similarities in what you
Yeah.
guys came up with, the desert and more of the desert colors. That was pretty
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing, Randy. When you were talking, I went, "Oh my God!"
When I
And
did this with Shelley, was that she did it at a conference, and same thing. A lot of people had similar, so this is like research right here.
yes.
it is like
Wow.
research. It's really interesting to hear what you saw in Lemuria and Atlantis, and then going forward and what it was like.
It really
And
is.
I think we're going to find a lot of similarities today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love that in the 200-year mark, how it becomes much more spiritual. And it's much lighter. There's, we're just not as bound by the heavy energies that we have today. It's different.
Yeah.
That's what you both experienced. That was awesome.
That's awesome.
Anybody else want to share?
Just be a tidbit.
Okay, Lucy.
Lucy.
I'm gonna unmute you, Lucy. I don't think I can unmute
There,
her.
I think you got her.
Okay.
Yeah, she's good.
Hello.
Hi,
So,
Lucy. So what'd you experience?
so in the beginning, I found when I was kind of moving, I found like very dark shape that was coming towards me, like maybe dragon or shape or thing. So it was a little bit scary, but I moved like through it, and then I was in a place of lots of blonde people that look like Pleiadians. It was really very light and beautiful, and even like the vibration and thing was very nice. But I think I was observing them. I don't think I was part of them. I was just looking everywhere, and they were just everywhere. And then I moved, and I was like in a fairyland thing, and I was actually in the body. I felt like I was this something like a butterfly fairy, some creature like that. I was just like
Wow.
opening my arms and laughing. I was really, really happy. And then I found myself in what was it, in like a membrane, and I was like observing it. I was like, what is this, what is this? And then I find out that I was actually baby inside the, maybe the mom or something, inside uterus or something. So I was observing it for a little bit, and then I was like a little boy running through like nature, very happy. And then I was like older, and I was climbing up the mountains with my backpack or something, the boy. And then it went to the next phase where I see like a woman, and also I see some things of Mother Mary and holding Jesus in the arms. And I was not sure if it is me or observing it, but then it was coming the pictures of Jesus on the cross being sacrificed. And then it moved to the different, completely different scenes. It was like a aborigines people, and it was like shamans, and I was like old man with very long hair with some like things inside the hair. And then in the future I only see lots of people in scaphanders, like you are on the moon. They were just like flat, and they were running, and they were looking back at me, and I keep running, and they were all like running in the scaphanders. And then when I went to 200 years ahead, I see a new planet. And I was observing the planet. It was like rotating in a space, and it was very beautiful. I was just looking at the new planet.
Wow.
So that was all.
That was all. Wow, Lucy, that was amazing. It sounds like when you were observing, coming back, you kind of like really peeked into all the different lives that you, as you came
Yeah,
forward.
and when I ask like if I am at the new planet, I saw, it was really funny because I saw your program. It's just I wake up and it pop in on YouTube, and I was drawing the tree. I think that you done it yesterday.
Yes, you
And
sent the
it was
photograph.
first thing I see. I see the tree that is like with lots of hearts,
Oh,
and I draw it. And then I asked if I was on a new planet, and I was the tree, and there was just heart in the middle, like in my picture what I drew this morning, and the hearts was just shining light to the people on the planet.
that is
So that was
so
very amazing.
beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Well, so
Lucy did the tree of me, and she did it, and she sent me this photograph of the drawing that she did, and it was beautiful. That is gorgeous. That is magnificent.
wow.
Talk about
So
a
everybody's seeing a new
timeline.
world. 200
Yeah.
years from now, it's really going to be different. That's awesome. I'm feeling really good about this. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Anything.
Lucy.
Yeah, thank you. And it could be anything. You know what? This will continue to integrate and unfold for you. So whatever you might have captured, or when you take a moment of rest and integrate and assimilate, I noticed a lot of you are starting to drink your water. This is really important. You've been on quite a journey, and it's kind of, so anything that anyone chooses to share could be a puzzle piece for someone else who might offer a puzzle piece back to you.
Okay,
Danny, thank you. Oh, I'm trying to
There you
unmute her.
are.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, the piece that I choose to share is me also in the future. I went on the moon.
Great.
I was like connected to the moon, or I was living on the moon. I'm not sure. It
Wow.
was in the
Wow.
future. Maybe for my past if I go back to the past, um, I think I was in Lemuria, but I was inside in a beautiful place, not really a home. It was like maybe a place where people are doing beautiful art, or maybe a little palace, but I was not necessarily a princess. I was a young woman with a long white and green dress, walking like that. I saw some soldiers. They were looking like Roman centurions, but supposed to be in Lemuria. That's all I could get. But I was feeling peace. After that, in the future, I saw the moon. And the only thing I saw in the further future, it was like a little bit like in the movie The Fifth Element, with Bruce Willis. No movie, but very good. There were like very tall buildings, almost floating, and well, I think we could fly in between the buildings.
Fantastic.
And that's all I remember. But I think
Wow.
you have all that I saw.
That's wonderful, Danny. That's quite a bit. That's
So
wonderful.
you saw a city scene of some sort in the future.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And you were on the moon. Was that?
Yeah, and when Lucy talk about the moon, I say, okay, me too. So I think
Okay.
Wow.
How did you?
uh,
Wow.
That was awesome.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
thank
You
you
have
to
a
you.
moon person. I love that.
I like that
Yeah.
she threw in that she felt very relaxed, like she felt very
Yes.
at peace. That's nice.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Wow. So Liz, Jane.
I'll unmute.
I'm
I'll
gonna
unmute
unmute
her.
you. Can you do that? Yeah. What did you experience?
I don't know much about Lemuria. I don't know what it looks like. I don't really know much about Atlantis, to be honest. But
That's good.
I felt I was in a place that was just really beautiful. Like like the air is so clear now, and we've got really vivid colours in the sky and in the green and everything. And I felt like the colours were like that. But it wasn't like a big city, but there were like tall pillars at the fronts of the buildings and things. And I was female. I had a long, flowy, turquoisey blue dress on and sandals. And I think I did mosaics. I didn't make mosaics, but I designed mosaics for like public places and things like that. But I just felt really serene. There was a real serenity around generally, just things felt good and beautiful. And a graciousness about people. And then when I went, I didn't stop and look in. I was very good. I just came back to the present moment. And then going forward was quite tricky because I just didn't feel like I was in a body anymore. And I don't think I was necessarily on Earth or Earth in the future. I felt that I was there. I had like a nurturing, a guidance type role, an overseeing kind of role, and a wisdom to impart and to, I don't know, but in a non-physical way.
Beautiful. Wow.
So, yeah.
No,
I
that's.
couldn't nail it. But I also felt like it was happening now. So, that sort of multi-dimensional thing, it's like it feels like it's also happening now already, if you know what I mean, somewhere else.
Yes I do. Yes I do. And
exactly what you're talking about.
And I would encourage you to trust that sensation, and that's coming from a knowing, and that's coming from that wisdom within you, that wisdom keeper within you. So yeah. And you can go back there at any time and continue to explore that consciousness.
Yeah, more will come up for you as you let this settle in. That's why it was important to write some of this down, because it'll just be a reminder, so you can go back in and even get more, and you will. Oh, that was beautiful. So you're coming, you're the guide. I love that. The future guide. So, Jackie, would you like to share something? Want to unmute her? Okay.
I will. Yeah, I got you, Jackie. Just a moment. Maybe I don't. What's going on here? I wonder, can I unmute if someone muted themselves?
You should be able to unmute her.
There.
I did it. I did it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, oddly, mine was feelings and emotions. I was an observer most of the time, but it was all feelings and emotions and reactions. How did I feel in view? So Lemuria was very beautiful. It was lush and green, dense foliage, very, very pretty. And I saw the streets. They were kind of cobbled, whitish buildings. But I didn't get the sense that it was going to be destroyed. I didn't have that feeling. I felt peace there. Coming forward, I kind of buzzed by some ships, old-fashioned ships, like sailing ships. I kind of buzzed by those. I didn't spend any time there. Something to do with soil and land, and I didn't really quite understand that, so blew by that. Came back through where we are now, then went to the future, and there I was an observer again, and the buildings were this is 100 years, they were rounded. Now, I didn't get the red rusty color that some of you got, but they were just rounded and small, adobe type, but I got that. I was a teacher sitting like you would sit in a circle around what would now be a wrought iron table. You know, you would sit around there and have coffee under an oak tree and talk. So it was something like that, but the equivalent, you know, was of course in the future. But it was just conversational, and everything was peace, though. Everything was comfortable, no threats of any sort, no worries of any sort. And even when I went to the year 200, I was back looking at what I think is probably the new Earth. And I came back there, and I remember the atmosphere, the light being yellowish blue, rather than where we see blue, it was yellowish blue. And again, utter peace and utter serenity and contentment, taken care of, no worries, just nice. They were all very nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those are beautiful feelings.
another new Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I love
Very,
that.
very nice.
Whoa.
I know. I feel just to share with you what's happening for me is as everybody speaks, my heart's just doing this confirmation for me. My soul is getting very activated to signal that, wow, yes, listen, pay attention. More of that, please. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jackie. That was really great.
And Christy's going to speak now. And I also want to note that he shared a file, and actually I was able to download it, so it's right in chat if you want to check that out. Thanks, Christy.
Yeah, it's an interesting read. But yeah, thanks everyone for sharing. I sort of went into a real deep state of meditation, and I was totally gone, like, as they say, like, and I came out of it, like, and I sort of looked at myself again from a distance and said, Christy, are you aware where you were? Like, you know, that sort of way in the last 2 or 3 minutes, like. And it was actually Kin talking to me, like, and again, like, he speaks about the states of consciousness that we can tap into when we're ready, like, you know, and I'm sitting here reflecting in the moment, listening to the rest of the guests, and I'm saying, really, like, it's such a wonderful message, but it's also a little bit of a wake-up call, like, you know, like a little bit of a push. I can feel a little bit of a push at the moment, and it's just more or less telling me, like, you know, what are you waiting for, Christy? What's the problem, like, and I've got these messages before, and we can all reflect where we go when we sort of fall back into our SIM card, as I call it, back into the machine that we're connected to, this 3D reality. And it's so important that we become aware of that, like, and I'm just realizing that, like, there's many aspects, as we've discussed, of Christie out there, like, and I'm just splattered everywhere in the cosmos, like, that sort of way. And it's a small little aspect of me down here in this container having this human experience, like, but and all the mayhem that's around us, as we shared there briefly, like, it's just really, it's a choice that we have, like, and someone said recently, I think I listened to an article online, it came from a doctor, and he said fear is just an illusion, like, but he said danger is real. Danger is real, but fear is just an illusion, like, and I held on to that, like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. It's like it was just, he was speaking to me, like, and when he said that to me, I says, yes, that's it really, like, and I can relate to that statement so much, because we can all pull ourselves into this fear and reality because of me. I can be quite fragile at times, like, and I realize that I'm trying to hold it together, like, sort of way, and there's many energies around steering the ship, like, and trying to watching me, and they're nudging me, and sending me messages, and they're engaging in conversations when I'm ready. And when I say when I'm ready, because this illusion that's around us, like, continues to try and push us into that energy, which a lot of the time is fear, like, so again, I land it with this. It's just awareing that, like, I can go somewhere when I put my mind to it, and I can tap into that consciousness, which is very, very real. It's just about me setting the intention. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Thank
Christy.
you
Thank
so
you.
much. I love that. You sound
Thank
very
you.
vast with all kinds of sparks of, sparks of
Yeah,
consciousness. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
So Lydia.
Where is our Lydia? There she is.
Yeah, I did it.
You have
Yeah,
something to share?
I saw a few things. Lumeria. Lumeria for me, like Egypt, with lots of green and trees and temples, and I saw 30 priests, very loving, very caring, healing, teaching. I was one of them. Then I was moving through this Atlantis that was not very nice. It was some warrior or guard or some kind of protector or something by too much blood. I don't like killing, so I was not enjoying this. And then I was moving through some past lives. What I saw in castle with young girl. Then something on other planet, not Earth. Next was some healer or healer, I think healing, something with healing, but I don't saw not very much. And then I saw 100 years for now. I was just some energy because I just saw planet, beautiful. I was with nature. I don't have a protector or some. I just saw nature and animals, and I was connected to them, but I was not in body. It was very beautiful. I like this kind of existence.
Yeah, it's the best. But you wonder, what was I thinking when I said I'd come here?
Exactly. And the next 100 years, I was somewhere on a beach, very beautiful place, lots of water. I don't know what was Earth, but I was teacher, spiritual teacher with family, male. I saw myself as male. And then I saw lots of people around fire, playing, singing, dancing. It was just joyful, peace, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, but I
Wow.
prefer this observing.
Wow.
Again, another new Earth story.
I just, I
Yeah,
know.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's really, yeah, it's really
I know.
interesting. It's amazing.
And I'm going to ask, you didn't mention, but when you were in the Atlantean era and you were a warrior, did you notice if you were a male or female?
Male.
Male. Isn't that interesting? Everybody was a
Yeah.
male during that,
The preaches-
or
the
so
Okay.
preaches-
far that you've revealed anyway.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
you're aware
that's
of.
pretty, yeah, it is
Male with
interesting.
long hair,
Mm-hmm.
with very big sword. I don't like it. And then I saw this
Okay.
Maria, again beautiful
Thank you.
woman with long black hair, very strange. Same different person, but all black hair. It was so interesting.
Wow.
You know, it was interesting too. Somebody else came up with with Lemuria having some kind of an Egyptian flair to it, or they
Yeah.
felt that was there. I wonder if
That was Bonnie, I believe.
with that Bonnie, yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that interesting? I wonder if there's something to that. If you know, if Egypt
Yeah, but
had some of the
it is-
same, you know, incarnations that brought some of that forward from
interesting.
Lemuria. That's
Perhaps-
that was really interesting. So Irma,
And
Randy,
Randy's saying
thank
goodbye.
you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much for
Randy.
coming out. It's always a delight to see you.
Randy.
thank you, love you so much.
Mm. We have Henry waving too.
So Irma, what did you experience?
Okay, some were more, I had more information on some than the others. Lemuria for me, I was female. I was on land. The streets had, it had a type of,
Oops, we lost
it
you.
was
There it goes.
still lush and green, but pathways. And I saw the city had like large, tall buildings, but like bubble glass almost, the buildings on top, almost like a futuristic feel, yet it was in the past. I was a female, and my fingertips seemed to have like bulbous, like more bulbous at the end. I remember looking at my hands and
Yes.
thinking, you know, I do have fingers, but almost like little
Mm-hmm.
bulbous ends on them. I was holding the hand of a young female that felt like a daughter type energy. We were very, very happy. Everything, it was a summer day. It was beautiful. The air was so clean, so clear. Everything was almost like crystalline. It was just gorgeous.
Wow.
Then I must have gone into Atlantis because I skipped over that quickly, just like because it's soldier again and male. And I just went, nope,
Interesting.
no thanks. I'm going to pass that one. I didn't stay
Very
long.
interesting.
I did not stay long in that one. It tried to come in and I almost like pushed it back, thinking it was something else that was coming from the old life, but not really. I don't know. For some reason, I just pushed it back. So I never really got a lot of information on it. In fact, I wasn't even going to discuss it until I started to hear a pattern with people, and I'm okay, I probably did experience that, and I just really pushed it away.
Perfect. Good.
My
Follow those
future-
instincts.
Yeah. Let me see. My future, it seemed muddled and I got stuck. The future, and here I even write it, future was a bit muddled. Where I was seemed, and now that people say the moon, it almost seemed moon-like, but almost like a metallic. It was darker there, and I had like a metallic feel almost, and then almost like an AI feel. and I didn't care for it very, very much. But I almost seemed to be like, I had a robe on, and I don't know if I was like a scientist or a monk, or almost as if they've merged together, like that spiritual scientist type of a thing. And for some reason, I had gotten a message that something was disturbing me. And I just could not get out of there until I came back. Oh. So I got the sense that everything should be okay, but I was focused on something that I just could not let go of. And then I went ahead and brought myself back. So I don't know, I don't actually know where I was, but it was I see myself getting information and almost like a moon type thing. And I'm standing up, and that's when I see my robe, the robes type thing. And I'm a male figure. And I almost feel like I'm like bald or, that kind of hooded. And I get information that just does not sit well with me. And it feels metallically IA-ish, something around that. And wow. I started pushing that away and came back because I was like, no, we're not going to explore that any longer either. But everything felt like it should be okay. Like I knew everything was fine, but this one little bit of information disturbed me. That's it.
Who knows? Maybe you chose to, become part of the whole AI human experience where everything merges together. You've seen science fiction, movies on stuff like that. But, who knows what's going to happen in 100 years from now with technology the way it's growing.
I almost seem to be judging something that someone did that did not sit well with me. And that's where the scientist part came in. But I also felt I had like a very, I knew ceremony, and I knew spirituality, and I knew all these things within myself to be bigger, but I also had scientific knowledge. So within that, and I was male, and within that, and I felt like I was in some type of a sect of something that someone did, and it did not sit well.
Right.
And it was something that I don't feel like it was huge, but something that was disturbing. But at the same time, I felt a peace around me that everything was still okay.
Wonderful.
Awesome. So,
and Danny's commenting similarly. For her, the moon looked unusual. And it seems that was at about the 100 mark, eh? That was about halfway to the 200. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and then the 200 mark, there was a lot of similarities with a new world. Things were different. Things were lighter. Things were better.
That's where peaceful. I felt everything was
bridge.
Okay.
Bridge. Yeah.
Yep. Then I bridged to everything was okay. But I kept coming back wanting to find when I should have just kept going. No, typical me. Let's pick this to death. But it's a scab. It can't heal. Let's pick at it. And that's what it felt.
Well, Irma, the wonderful thing is you are so good at directing your consciousness in terms of where it is you choose to be. And you're so good at establishing boundaries. And isn't it nice to know that you can just take yourself back into that journey?
Yep.
If you want to explore beyond that space and time and go forward another 100 years and experience from that platform.
And experience the and there, when I go there, it does seem a sense of peace. Like you said, almost like a new beginning, but almost as if at the 100 mark, something had to be unraveled to allow that new peace. And I had the bridging of both the spirituality and the scientific knowledge to make people aware that if we follow this path, it's not where we should be looking for something new. That's what it felt like.
Just-
Like, wow, the more I talk about it, the more it unfolds.
That's how it
Almost
works.
as if the path. Yes, I
I
didn't.
love that.
In fact, I wasn't even going to talk about it, but almost as if I had to show people that it might look like this path is going to take us where we want to go, but it isn't. It's going to bring us back. So that's basically what this, and I don't feel that he was young, but compared to me, young man in his 40s was trying to show people, make people aware of. And when I saw him, the light bulb had gone off of, that's not good, is what he was thinking. Oh, that's not good. It's not helpful to us where we want to be. So that's all. Thank you.
Just
Wow,
keep moving
Irving, thank
forward.
you. That was awesome.
I like your hand gesture for me too. It was like a spinning rotation of how it could send people back, but you can spin that rotation forward. Yeah, that's so cool.
And he wanted to allow people to look at it completely.
From
and he's
both
even
perspectives.
taking it and looking at it and saying this, it's not, it won't serve the way you believe it will serve us.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Irma. Kim, you came in late. Did you get to experience anything she did? He's like, would you like
I know
to share with us?
she got all sleepy looking real fast.
I know. So can you unmute, Kim? Can you
Oh,
unmute
I'm
yourself?
sorry.
Yes,
I
okay.
thought somehow I saw the red light. Never mind.
Oh, we still can't hear you.
Oh, maybe it's your mic.
Can you turn your
volume
thing up
up
on your computer?
This way.
There we go.
Just
there you are.
my headphones. So what I did experience was like a Garden of Eden, so to speak. And then I moved on to where I was above out in the universe, but I was an observer. So I came back in and then I went to the future part, And so I got the song, Meet George Jetson. And, and so So my future world was George Jetson, space-like, but like only a small area, but the rest of the planet was definitely green and very, very full of flora, all the sparklies. I know I was definitely a female and tons of family. They'll never leave me. So I've seen some of the same ones, And then lastly, I was a guide. So that's where I'll be, I'll be guiding.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Look at all the insight. Look at all that you're gaining from this Earth Walk now.
I know.
Right here in this present now, as many of you move forward and choose the role of being that wise consciousness for others to support.
Absolutely.
Wow. Cool.
Wow. Well, you guys, your journeys were absolutely amazing. Loved it. It kind of reminds me of some of the journeying that I've done. I saw Lemuria very similar and Atlantis very similar to what all of you came up with.
Yeah.
It was, very female on the Lemuria side and very male on the Atlantis side of it. It was really, really interesting. And some of the things you guys explained, how buildings look like, I kind of saw some of the same things. Go ahead.
Yeah, it just may be the collapsing of the patriarch, the collapsing of the patriarchal energies that are occurring right here now on the planet. Many people are bringing forward that much of what's occurring. Remember, we talked about everything happening past, present, and now, everything existing in the now. It could be that some of that consciousness is what we observed, right? That there's so much tension, and because all of you kind of described that. That's what I'm receiving anyway. That's kind of really cool, because I can't even go there myself. It's an energy field I just don't want to enter, not now, and I previously didn't either. So Very, very cool. It
I
in and all
love,
that feminine energy that's being brought forward, whether
it's
embodied
just,
in
it's a,
masculine or
well,
feminine.
it's a balancing.
It's a balancing of
Yeah, it's
those
a
energies.
balancing, which is really great.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely love the direction that the earth is going in, everything that you guys observed. And I mean, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This makes all the work that we're doing here right now well worth it. You know, we're all here as that bridge, helping, doing everything we can to help bring this energy forward and into the earth, and to with people too, helping them move forward. So keep doing what you're doing. It's working. You
Yeah.
guys are awesome. And whatever you get, keep in mind that this still keep coming forward. Information will, even when you went through and you just observed. You know, some of you actually observed some of the life. Some of you just saw, like going through a tunnel, you just saw little shoots. That if you ever choose to go back and explore that, you can, and you will actually can go into those lives and look at them and see if they mean anything to you in your lifetime today. And just keep in mind what the future's like, because
just ask your soul to take you there.
That's well, that's where you're moving to, you know, and that's why you're here, helping people and moving forward.
I'm receiving it. May be a lot of fun. I mean, many have described that it's really hard to take a view of the future, given that it hasn't been created yet, and we're here now in this present moment, creating that through our consciousness, and that which we focus upon now, like the Garden of Eden, is what we can assemble and create for the future. So it might be fun to do a journey where we become the creator beings that we are, and place our energy field of vibration into the consciousness of the future, and see what we visualize and what we want to manifest for that timeline. That might be really neat. Or you can do that yourself, just planting a seed, that's all, or one that was planted in me. Yeah.
Well, we can do that right now. We can send our energy and intentions to the future, and on how we perceive it to be. And that just kind of brings it all home. If you want to do that,
let's do
everybody
that.
just and we can just do this by running energy, sharing our intentions with what we would.
Oh, there's Deb coming in as we wrap up. Yeah. Deb, we're going to send our consciousness into the future, and we're just going to send that energy field and that flow of that which we desire for the future to be created.
So let's just bring the future into our big bubble. Bring it all the way in. That's right. And let the future now not only feed us and encourage us for what we're doing.
Yes. What is the future calling us to do now?
Yes. Let it speak to us. Let it encourage us so that we know our purpose and what we're doing. That's right. And let this energy from the future actually come through into the world right now, and let it touch every being on this earth, every guide, every spiritual being that's here. That's right. Almost like creating a path that everybody can acknowledge it.
Activating an awakening of that consciousness to follow that path.
Yes. That's right. Allowing every animal, plant, every part of the earth to acknowledge the future. Let this energy come in. Also giving the earth encouragement in the animals, in the rocks, the plants. After all, we're all one.
The water, the flow of the water, the energy of water. Water that makes up your body with every sip of water that you take, bringing more of that beautiful, beautiful crystalline energy of the future into you.
Wow. Take a deep breath. And so it is. And so it shall be. Thank you,
You guys
everybody.
are powerful creator beings. And I'm just
Yes.
going to do a very quick shout out and we'll complete this now. And that is to Deb, who's arrived late. But do check Deb out every Wednesday. She's introducing people to light language and has a special offering. So make sure to check that out, okay?
Oh, hi, Deb.
Yeah.
Just saw you.
Sorry,
Wow.
I had a session when you
That's
were.
okay.
Oh,
Are we good? Is everybody feeling contented? We'll stop the recording and say thank you to each other and
yes.
gratitude for our experience.